Hey everyone, welcome back to another Make It Monday video. Today I'm going to be working with lots of different supplies from lots of different companies, so here are a few of them. I'm going to be starting with the extra large dot stencil from Simon Says Stamp and just a piece of white cardstock. Now you want to place the stencil on top of your cardstock, but first you want to make sure you adhere the paper down to your mat and then use washi tape to adhere your stencil down. Otherwise it's going to move underneath the stencil. So I'm starting with the Tattered Rose Distress ink, and I'm just applying that to the right side of the card. I'm just working in a circular motion so you don't get the little lines from the foam applicator. The next color I'm going to be using is Worn Lipstick, which is like a brighter pink, but not as bright as the Picked Raspberry. And then I'm going to apply that to the middle part of my card. And you'll be able to see like some lines and stuff in there between the colors, but I'll show you how to fix that. And then the last color I'm going to use is the purple, which is Seedless Preserves. So I'm kind of working in an ombre look, except from pink to purple, not just all one color. And then you can also make it as dark or as light as you want, just depending on how much ink you put on there. Alright, so now to kind of blend all of those colors together, I'm going to go backwards. So I'm going to apply the Worn Lipstick between the Worn Lipstick and the purple. You want to like put some of the Worn Lipstick onto the purple, and it's just going to help them blend together better so it doesn't look like three separate colors. So then I'll do the same and take the Tattered Rose and then apply that onto both the Tattered Rose and the Worn Lipstick. Alright, now usually is when you would lift up your stencil to see what's underneath. But first, I'm going to do a little bit of a different technique. I'm going to take my Hero Arts background stamp, and this is the starry, it's all the little tiny stars. I'm not exactly sure what the name is, but if you are looking for the supplies, they will all be linked below. So I just used my Fiskars stamp press, and now I'm going to stamp each of those colors of distress ink on the side where they are. So on the left hand side I have my Seedless Preserves, in the middle I'm applying my Worn Lipstick, and then on the right hand side I have my Tattered Rose, and I'm just going to put those onto my stamp, and then I'm going to stamp this right over my stencil and on my cardstock. That'll just mean that there's a stamped image where your stencil marks are and not where your stencil isn't. So it's kind of a cool technique to add to your card, and I did it this way so that all the colors kind of match up with where they are. So now you get to lift it up and see that really cool background with the dots and the stars. Alright, next I'm going to take my Spellbinders Standard Circle Small die. Sorry, that's a little bit of a mouthful. And I'm cutting that out of a piece of Coordinations 110-pound cardstock, just because this is what I'm going to be stamping on and coloring in with Copic markers. I have the Critters Ever After stamp set, and I'm going to use the unicorn that I'm going to stamp in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'm just going to stamp that right in the center of my circle. Now I'm going to color it in with my Copic markers, so I will speed it up and play the music, and then I will have the colors listed in the right hand corner for you. Alright, so once that's all colored in, I'm going to take this tiny little star that was from the same stamp set and some of this Brilliance Platinum or Starlight, I think it's called Starlight Silver ink, and stamp a few little stars all along behind the unicorn. This is a pigment ink though, so you want to make sure that you let it dry completely before you touch it, because otherwise it is going to smear all over the place. Alright, so I'm going to use a little bit of pattern paper. This is the Little Princess 6x6 paper pad from Imagine-S. And I'm just going to cut a small strip of that down. And that is going to be on the bottom of my card. And this is a standard A2 size card base, and it is folded. It's going to be like a sideways card, but it's folded the long way, or on the shorter end. So I'm going to adhere down the stencil background first, and then I'll go ahead and adhere my pattern paper down to the bottom part. Okay, and now I'm just going to place my circle where I want it, just so I can stamp my sentiment. I want to get the placing correct on my card. So I'm going to use the Critters Ever After set, which the unicorn is from, and then the Hello Baby set. So it's going to say, Make a Wish, Sweet Girl. So it's going to be for a girl, their birthday card. And I'm stamping that with Tuxedo Black Memento ink again. Okay, so now I'm going to take this May Arts Natural Twine, and I don't really want the brown color, so I'm actually going to dye it with the Seedless Preserves Distress ink so that it matches the rest of my card. So to do this, I'm working on my craft sheet, and I'm just going to place the twine onto my surface, and then take the ink and place it on top and just kind of pull the string through it just so that it's all covered. And you only have to do it like 3 or 4 times and it should be covered. And then you want to make sure that this is dry completely, because if you don't, you're going to get it all over your card. So I let it dry for a while, and then I also took a paper towel and just kind of ran the string through the paper towel to get any of the excess ink off. So I'm punching a hole at the top of my where I want my string to go, just because I'm not going to be able to wrap it around my card otherwise. So a little bit's going to be on the inside of the card, but I'm perfectly fine with that. So I just used my paper piercer, punched the hole through, and then strung my twine through, and then I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow right above my sentiment. And like I said, you want to be extra careful and make sure this is dry, because otherwise you're going to get purple ink all over your beautiful card that you already created, and you don't want to mess it up at this point. So now I'm going to go ahead and take some foam squares and apply them to the back of my stamped circle, and then I'll go ahead and adhere that onto my card, and then that is my finished card for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and give this video a thumbs up if you did, and then subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure you check out these 3 videos linked for you below. I will see you next time. Bye!